It's meant to cleanse your soul, to purify your soul so that you can leave your body and rise to a higher dimension. Some things that I say may sound slightly cynical. Cynicism is part of our nature, and just as every other part of our nature, it's useful. God made it. God made us in His image. Life is a school, death is a graduation, but it's more than that. The path that you take in life was created before you, is divinely yours, no one else's. Don't cast judgment on me because you don't know me. I understand that it can be hard to believe in things that you can't see. Just because you can't see something and you can't measure it doesn't mean it's not real. I have no choice whether or not to be a believer, because one day at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was at my office working. I'd had several people stop in and bother me. I was busy. And I thought, if one more person comes and bothers me, I said, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit. That's what I said. I'll never forget it. And minutes passed by, and I glanced out the window, and I saw an old man far down the road, walking really slow. And the thought passed through my head, oh crap, here comes another one. Okay. And before you know it, he was at my door. I'll never forget what he looked like. Very bizarre. He had long blonde hair, and his eyes were really light blue. He was really old. And I thought, well, this is strange. He's gotten here so quickly, considering how slow I saw him walking. He just asked if he could sit in the cold air, and I told him sure. He sat down and he didn't say anything. And I went back to my work. Well, after about 5 minutes, he got up and went to leave, and it was hot outside. So I went into the back of my office. I got him some water and some snacks, put them in a bag, and I gave them to him. I even printed him out a map of the town. I gave the bag of stuff to him, and he went to walk out the door, and as he turned around, his hair was like golden. It was glowing, and his eyes were the deepest, brightest color of blue, and it was like he held the universe inside of him. And he said, "Of 1,000 whom I've asked have given naught. You, whom I've asked not, giveth more than 1,000, and I shall remember you." And then he walked out the door. I went to follow him because I was going to give him $5 to go get something at McDonald's to eat. And he was gone. And I looked around the building, he was gone. I looked up the street, he was gone. Down the street, he was gone. I got in my car, I drove the block. This man was walking so unbelievably slow, yet he disappeared into thin air. This brings me to something I wanted to talk about. People casting judgment on one another. I saw a post on Facebook, a place where none of us should be. It's an awful place. It was a picture of Anton LaVey. If you don't know who that is, he's the founder of the Church of Satan. It said that on his deathbed, Anton LaVey said, "Oh my, what have I done? Something's very, very wrong," or something to that effect. So I was misunderstood, but what I said was, maybe it wasn't because he was being dragged to hell at that moment and he was dying. Maybe it's because dying sucks. I don't think any of us know, because none of us have done it yet. That's why you're being able to watch this, because you're not dead. No telling what he was dying from. It may have been painful. All I'm saying is that in the miraculous nature of God's divine creation is all around us. None of this really matters anyway, because if you're a true believer, shouldn't you believe in predeterminism? God's got a plan for your life, they say, right? Then why are you trying to change it? If he's got a plan for your life, doesn't he have a plan for the life of the person who you're trying to convince otherwise? Everyone treats God like he's Santa Claus, and every prayer is like a to-do list or something. Like he doesn't already know what's happening. Like he doesn't already know what to do. You should love yourself, and you should love one another, and you should love the people that you're concerned about. Make sure to not treat God like a servant. You shouldn't intervene in another's path or journey, because this life is a cleansing fire for the soul to transcend this dimension to another. It's not a physicality. It's something we can't conceive. We don't have the framework in our consciousness to be able to conceive of realms beyond this dimension. So as you continue to try to do that, what you're doing is you're creating an idea which is more and more fanciful. What if, when you die, the peace comes from not having to count yourself as a physical being, as an individual part of something, as a person? What if you are returning to a collective, once was one God? You know, we're all a piece of God, and the more we try to understand Him, the less and less we do. Everybody wants to demonize Satan, which is funny. He plays a really vital role in the cleansing of our souls and our transcendence to a higher dimension. There has to be a challenge. He's doing what God made him to do. Do you think that God said, oh, whoops, maybe you should think about it like this? He was meant to fall. Who put him in the garden? Do you think he snuck in? God put him there. Whether we sin or not sin, it's God's will. Whether we fall from grace or become a virtuous person, it's God's will. So Anton LaVey was supposed to found the Church of Satan. You know why? Why they say bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people? It's because they're supposed to. This is not supposed to be easy. You know, you can't just give somebody a book. When you talk to another person, you shouldn't assume what's within them. You shouldn't assume what they might or might not know. They may not know anything. They may know more than you. If you try to influence another, try to change the path of another's future, you're not doing anything. It's already done. All of this was supposed to happen for a reason. And the more you try to tie other dimensions to physicality in this dimension and try to convince people to believe in it as such, the farther you're driving them away from God. So, first of all, I don't appreciate someone judging me, telling me what a true believer would do, as if I could choose to believe or not to believe. Think before you speak, because that's why God put a brain in your head. And I'm not going to judge you for doing what you feel you should do. I think everyone should do what they feel they should do. But what I feel that I should do is not force my beliefs upon anyone else, but let them make their own decision. It doesn't mean do nothing. It's not non-action. It's non-forcing. There's a difference between non-action and non-forcing. So you don't force your imperfect will on another person, and you don't let another person force their imperfect will upon you. That's why I get so angry when people try to tell me what to do. It makes me very angry. And it's because it's not right. It goes against the nature of God. God is love. And it doesn't matter what someone does. If you love them, they're going to do what they're going to do. You should try to make sure that people around you are happy and healthy and sane, and you know, and make sure that they remember to love themselves, because you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. But if you look into Anton LaVey's philosophy, his philosophy was, if it doesn't hurt anybody, do what you want. Well, anybody includes you. So I think we need to reevaluate this whole thing. I don't think any of us know anything, really. We don't need to take the words of some dying person who was probably under the influence of God knows what kind of medication, saying a couple of phrases, and then relate that to, well, he must be being dragged to hell right now. I don't think that's right. I think that's judgment. But who am I to say? I mean, I'm just an imperfect human being, as we all are. So it's kind of hard to put into a little bitty, puny, pathetic Facebook message, arguing with somebody who probably thinks there are castles in the clouds. There are no castles in the clouds. But there definitely is God. You know, anybody that wants to say Jesus wasn't real, well, you know, it's been 2,000 something years, and people are still talking about this guy. He performed so many miracles that his legacy lives on to this day, as well as it should, because he was God in the flesh. Maybe he's come many times before. We just always kill him. If your opinion was changed by what I've said in a good way or a bad way, or indifference, or if it pissed you off or made you happy, well, it was supposed to. I had nothing to do with it. When you put your own analytical mind to something, you take out God's will and you turn it into your own will, and it's no longer divine. I don't choose the words that I'm going to say, I just say them. I don't choose a purpose for why I do things, I just do them. Love yourself and love everyone else, and for goodness sakes, don't judge people, because I'll let you figure that out.